Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about the Robbers Cave experiment ran by Dr. Muzafer Sherif in 1954. The questions that Sherif sought to answer through this experiment were: how do individuals band together to form groups? How and why does conflict arise? And how can that conflict be resolved? Sherif's hypothesis was that intergroup conflict and hostility arises when there is competition for limited resources, causing them to have negative thoughts and behavior towards the other groups. The setup for the experiment was that Sherif would recruit 22 boys, 11 or 12 years old, and split them into two groups at random. The two groups would initially have no knowledge of each other. The boys were given a day to bond and grow close, then pitted against each other to create conflict with some help from the researchers, who were acting as camp counselors. They were then given various chances to work as a whole team to solve issues. On day 1, the groups bonded separately, playing games and having fun with one another, and they even named their groups, the Eagles and the Rattlers. On day 2, one group of boys went to the baseball field, only to find that the other group was already there. Feeling that their territory had been invaded, neither group was very happy. The researchers encouraged them to play a game of baseball against each other, and further encouraged friendly competition between the two groups. The situation devolved quickly. With the help of supplies from the camp counselors, the boys sabotaged each other's camps, stealing things like clothes, snacks, and other essentials, burning the flag of the other group, and even getting into fistfights. Once conflict had been established between the two groups, the counselors moved into a new location in which the water supply had been tampered with. The boys had to band together as a whole team to move the large rocks blocking the water tank's valve. They were given multiple other opportunities to work together, such as planning and finding a way to pay for a movie night for all the campers, and according to the textbook, when a truck, quote, broke down on a camp excursion, a staff member casually left the tug-of-war up nearby, prompting one boy to suggest that they all pull the truck to get it started. These moments of cooperation as a whole team led to the boys riding the bus back home, not in their groups as Eagles and Rattlers, but as a whole group of campers who got along very well. The experiment shows that mere contact with the outgroup may not be enough to resolve conflict, but a superordinate goal that benefits everyone may be enough to get people to set aside their differences and work together. It also helped to show how bonds form, through similarities, participating in activities together, and proximity. In this case, they were all around the same age, likely shared similar hobbies and interests, and were all boys. They played games and ate meals together during the first day, and they all lived in one big cabin. Because of all of that, it wasn't too difficult for them to form strong bonds. The biggest flaw I found with this experiment was that Sherif was really attempting to prove what he thought to be true, rather than focusing on taking in whatever data he got from the experiment. There was an experiment before the Robbers Cave experiment, done by Sherif, labeled the Middle Grove experiment, in which they didn't separate the boys from the very start and didn't isolate them from one another nearly as much. The researchers, and Sherif himself, were much more aggressive in trying to incite conflict between the two teams, designated the Panthers and the Pythons. However, they just couldn't seem to get the boys to dislike one another. That being said, I do think the changes made for the Robbers Cave experiment were better representative of real life, and therefore probably more accurate. That's all I have for this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, maybe learned a little something, and I hope you have a great day.